Now we're going to harvest something that I planted. This is all red cabbage in a line here. And I want to show you a few tips. I'm not going to pull it out of the ground. I'm just going to simply cut it off. And break off the outside leaves. These we won't need anymore. Those will all end up in the compost. And then we end up with one mighty fine red cabbage. All right, it's about the size of a volleyball. Nice, solid, good red cabbage, just like you'd pick up in the store, but this is also an organic variety since there's no pesticides or herbicides used. And as you can see, bugs are not a problem. We've had a lot of ladybugs in our garden this year, and they ate a lot of the bad bugs that we would have to normally be aware of. But the ecosystem in the garden is working good with the beneficials, taking care of the ones that aren't beneficial. But I'd like to show you that pretty cabbage.
What are you going to do with that cabbage? How are you going to prepare it?
Actually, this kind of cabbage, you can cook cabbage 1,000 different ways. One of my favorites is to just cut it in half long way with a knife, and then I'll take this and put it into a steamer, and then let the steam cook it from underneath, and we eat half of it at a time since there's 2 of us. And that's a lot of cabbage. So you can still leave them growing for a while in the ground without having to harvest every one, but you want to put cabbage on your diet because you're going to come out here and get one once in a while and keep it in the fridge and chop on it and use it as needed. So I just want to give you an idea how pretty a garden vegetable you can put in your own garden. It's not very big, and how much food you can actually make for yourself and your friends.
Hey Marshall, step over here and let me get a close-up of that thing.
Yeah, here we go. Let me get this basketball over here.
Man.
Now, that's what I'm talking about. Nice, healthy cabbage. We'll even take off one more leaf just to see what it looks like under this one. There we have one big cabbage. All right, well, this is a June Gold peach tree. I didn't prune it this year because I didn't expect to see so many peaches on it, but from all the winter rains that we had, it was just perfect conditions for peaches, including the harsh winter we had, which is also good for peach trees. They call them June Golds because the peaches are ready in June. Right now, they're still hard as a rock. Tons of them. They're starting to turn red. They're also getting bigger every day. The sheer numbers of this might keep these a little smaller. But as you can see, the weight of the peaches, we've had to put some boards under the trees because of the amount of peaches and the weight that holds the limbs down. So I can't begin to show you all of them at one time, but each limb is pretty well loaded to the teeth with peaches this year. I don't think I've ever seen this many peaches come out on this tree ever. The backyard has peaches, the front yard has peaches, the whole neighborhood is 6.5 peaches. So we do have a lot of these. This is when the fruits of your labor start showing, all the work that you've done to prepare up to that point. Now you get to actually see it turning red, ripening, and you know it's going to be in your kitchen before too much longer. Of course, the squirrels will get their share, the birds will get their share. We have a persistent woodpecker that says he already likes the peaches in the backyard, so he eats one here and there, but that's okay. I share with wildlife to a degree, as long as they don't try to take them all. Okay, so talking about what we're going to do with the onions next. When they start rolling out of here, probably about another week or so, we'll start harvesting them up at a dry time, take them inside. I put them on a sheet on a bedroom floor so I can roll them around, keep them from touching each other for very long because I want them to dry out very nicely. And then we'll take newspaper, put it in a container and stack onions, more newspaper, more onions, and we'll keep them inside, air conditioned, where the sun can't hit them. And we've had our onions last over 6 months that way. Longer than the book says, but it's all on how you treat your onions and take care of them to how long they will last after you harvest them. Now, in another week or two, I'm going to take all these out, probably about 2 weeks, and then it'll be time to plant okra. So we'll plant this whole row with okra after I take these out. The ones over there I'll probably pull out and plant beans and more peppers. So as soon as you pull out something out of your garden, you can surely till it back up, prep it back out with some more compost, and then go plant again. You're going to be planting 60, 90-day crops. You still have plenty of time. And so we're going to be doing pretty much okra in this row after these come out. And then in the next row, like I say, will be onions and more peppers. One thing I want to do before y'all leave, because I haven't got around to even looking at that vegetable yet, but I'm going to go pull a couple of beets, and I want to show you what beets look like coming out of a garden. This looks like chard, but it's not. These are beets, and actually, this is a beet green and a beet stem. These are also very edible. People cook down the beet greens and make a nice pot of greens. You can put them in the salads. You can saute, steam, eat them raw. Still something very good to eat. It's not something you really want to throw away unless they're very ugly looking, like this one here. Of course, you wouldn't want to use one that's this yellow and that bad looking for your good dishes. So I would throw that away and keep the nicer ones. Now, beets have been planted for a while. We're going to pull up a couple of them just to show you how big they can get. So let me get right here. There's one. Not a bad size at all. Pull off the dead ones. And this is a delicious beet. One of mine and Dorinda's favorite foods out of the garden is beets. And if you ever wonder why they say beets are red through and through, it's because they're red when you eat them, and they're red when you see them in the toilet the next morning too. So don't think that you've busted a artery or anything after you've eaten beets and running to your doctor, because I've heard my doctor tell me that people come talk to him a whole lot after they've eaten beets thinking they have a medical condition. No, you just been beated, that's all. So let's see if we got another one down here that's ready to go. Here's another one. Now both these are nice size eating beets. Oh, there he is. Chinook, little Chinook looking thing. We got the double whammy. Here comes the sun too. As we wind up today's show, remember when you see it next time, all this will be gone and there'll be new things growing. We grow gardens year-round here, and we'll have probably some eggplant to show you later on, and the peppers will be doing more later on. The beets will be gone because, as you can see, they're ready to harvest, and they're good size. So until our next show, which will be showing you more about the peppers. Right now we have purple bell. Now let me go grab one of these real quick just to show you what you can get off your bell peppers even. Now, here's you a purple bell, a couple of beets. So we just did a red cabbage a while ago. So you can see how much food there is to be had in a small 16 by 16 foot garden, and how nice food you can grow. Better than you can find in a grocery store because you just picked it. It's got all the vegetables and nutrients in there at 100% right now. Not been sitting around a warehouse for 2 weeks, 3 weeks waiting to hit the store shelves and losing its potency at the time. So in our next show, we'll come back, the onions will be gone, and all other things will be planted. Say we'll try to do this again in August maybe. So until then, happy gardening.